Now I've got a pretty neat bug for you today. I was up at Bass Pro Shops last night and I found some material that I've never used before. It's by a company called MFC, which is Montana Fly Company. They got all kinds of materials, but what I'm going to use today is this called their Sexi-floss. So this, what they call the Sexi-floss, it's kind of a mix between a floss and a rubber leg, so I'm sure it would make some great bodies, but I'm going to use it today for some rubber legs. Now the pattern I'm about to show you, it's kind of a no-name little nymph, loosely based on a Copper John, but I'm not putting a wing case on it. You certainly could if you wanted to, but I don't think it's necessary. Now it's a pretty simple tie. I think it'll be a decent trout bug, but you know this thing's going to be a great panfish fly. And it's a pretty fun one to tie. So there it is in the vise, just a pretty fun little buggy nymph trying out this new Sexi-floss. No name really to this thing. If anything, it's just a variation of a rubber leg Copper John. That's a size 12, one extra long barbless wet fly hook. And that is a black bead. It's not tungsten, it's brass, so I'm gonna put some wraps of 0.15 weight, maybe 10 wraps or so here. And I'm going to be using black 70 denier thread. Let's put a dam behind it. We'll take a few wraps over it and then take our thread back toward the back. Now for the tail, I'm going to be using some of this new MFC Sexi-floss. Cut a piece about 1 inch long. Just going to fold it over. Yeah, right there, that should be fine. Let's see. It does have a natural curve to it, and I want them to be kind of splayed out if possible. So I'm just gonna try to lay it on here, and then we'll do a couple of loose wraps until we can get them positioned. Try to anyway. All right, that's a little bit of a splay right there, but it will spin around on you. So we'll do a couple more tight wraps right here. Just try to keep it from spinning. And now we're going to need to take our thread back because I want my body to be a little bit longer than that. So just if I can keep these over toward one side, or each side maybe. See that how it's starting to spin on me? I think that is about the angle I want, so we'll see if I can get some tight wraps to hold what I got right there. Okay, that should be just fine. Got that little nub up front. Can we bury this? Probably not a big deal, but we'll try. Now for the body, just some hot yellow wire and a size medium. Let's catch this in about midway right here. And leave the thread back a little bit because we are going to put a thorax on it, but go ahead and just wrap this up. Touch and turns, try to, do the best you can here. If you have a little black showing underneath, not a big deal, but just go ahead and let's wrap it up here to our thread. Okay, I think that's going to work. Now you got to be a little careful if you have this thick wire and thin thread. So just take several wraps with this wire going forward, and then just a whole bunch of wraps right here really to bury this, lock it in. Now we should be able to helicopter this off. Now we'll take some more of this same Sexi-floss, maybe a little bit longer of a piece, fold it over again, and we will trim it to size when we're done. So I'm gonna do a couple of loose wraps right here, and then just try to get it positioned coming off of either side. It's gonna be fine. And don't worry if they're not splayed out just yet, we can take care of that when we're dubbing our thorax. So a few loose wraps right here, and then maybe go into some tighter wraps. And they're going a little bit all over the place, but I think we're going to be just fine. Let's go ahead and put some wax on our thread. and just dub it with whatever furry dubbing you like for your nymphs. This is a black squirrel. It's that one I got roadkill up in the Catskills a few weeks ago. So I'm going to dub maybe a 3-inch noodle here. And what I was talking about is, okay, after a couple wraps, you could put one wrap behind these legs if you need to get them to splay out a little bit. There we go. And I'm not going to put any wraps in front of those legs and behind that bead. I'm just going to whip finish it right here. It's a little bit quicker, and I think if you put one up behind those beads, it might just be a little too much. Now let's take care of these front legs. Just open them up right here and then cut these front ones to size. I mean, maybe if you wanted a bluegill fly, leave it as is, but even cutting them short, making them kind of stubby, I think is the way to go here. It'll still be a good bluegill or trout fly. And there we go. A little bit unwieldy, a little bit crazy looking, but definitely a fun one to tie, and looks like it's going to be a fun one to fish. So that's it, my friends. I appreciate you watching. Y'all take care, and we'll see you next time.